Hi guys, my name is Megan and today we're talking all about books that I just couldn't get out of my head. Alright, so today's video topic comes from a Reddit thread that I found, and it was asking about books that you were obsessed with to the point that you couldn't think of anything else for days after reading them. And it got me thinking about all of the books that I've read and the ones that really truly stick with my heart. So let's go ahead and dive into today's video. So the first book I'm going to talk about, and I've talked about a lot on this channel, and I actually have a full review for the series. I did a whole reread on them. I will leave that video linked up above, and this should be no surprise to anybody, but it is the Protector of the Small series. This one I read for the first time probably when I was in 6th grade. I think. So like right when I was getting into early YA books and, you know, going from like middle grade books into the YA realm before YA really like blew up. Cal is honestly one of my favorite characters. I still think about these books, probably more than I should, but they have my heart in a way that no other book series really does. If you guys have a chance to ever read these books, please do, because they're so incredible and filled with acceptance and everything under the sun these books talk about, and it's incredible. Okay, so next up is Felix Ever After. So Felix Ever After like grabbed my heart and would not let go. I loved Felix. I loved seeing how incredibly hard it is for people to find acceptance, and you know, when you're trying to figure out your sexuality, but you think you're one thing and then you're completely another, and it's just, oh, that book like yanked on my heart and like the best way, and I cried while I read that book, and it takes so much for me to cry in a book. Felix Ever After should be mandatory reading for everyone. It's incredible and validating and just one of the best books that I've read. Okay, so next up we have Mage. So this is one that I also read probably read this book series a lot younger than its audience was meant for. I think I read this when I was in 7th grade, and this was definitely like an adult book. This book, I've talked about it quite a bit on this channel, I think, as well. It's kind of like a grown-up Percy Jackson. It's a mix of Greek mythology and technology, like, and how they converge and how the Greek gods use technology and like their magic. The main character is such a sarcastic little shit, and I love him. This book brings back so much nostalgia for me, and I still think about it. Like, there are some scenes that if I'm daydreaming or something, these scenes just play through my mind and I'm like, yes. It's incredibly hilarious, but also like ridiculous and action-packed, and I love it. All right, so next up is Wild Blue Wonder. This book was a surprise. I wasn't expecting to fall in love with this book like I did. It was just so incredibly heartfelt, and like I read it at the right time, I think. This book deals a lot with grief and the grieving process and stitching a broken family back together and making new friends, and it's just one of the most incredibly sweet books that I've read in a very, very long time. And like I said earlier, it takes a lot for me to cry at a book. This one did it. Like, it hit home in a way that I was not expecting, and it's just a really great book. Okay, and then the last but certainly not least book on this list is Blank Canvas. So Blank Canvas I read last year, and it was heartbreaking. So this one follows Sam, who is in a wheelchair. He's, you know, had an accident in the past and he is wheelchair bound, but he's taking care of his niece, and it's dealing with the adoption process and just how prejudiced the system is against parents with disabilities. And I cried so many times while I read that book, and it also deals with having a new love come into your life and, you know, how that works in around your child and, you know, figuring out how to be a couple. And like, there's so many incredible scenes in that book, but I also really loved the talk and like the conversation around sex and disabilities and how things work, and like it was incredibly sensitive and just so good. And please read this book if you ever get a chance. It's incredible and it's just so good. All right, so those are the books that I just can't get out of my head. What are some books that you guys can't get out of your head? Let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already and would like to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more book stuff, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys.